How do I actually view the world through these mindsets? So the first one I want to share with you is going to be vision. Now, I don't think anyone in this room is going to discount the fact that vision is massively important. We got to have vision. But you realize, and here's some statistics if you want to get blown away, 80% of the people actually get up, go to work, come home, eat, play with the kids, repeat. 80% of the people walking planet Earth have no goals. They have no desire to get better than what they're doing. 16% of the population have a concept of what they want, an idea of goals. Yet less than 4% actually have them written down. And less than 1% actually look at it, review it, and stay tracked on it. Less than 1%. So are you part of the 80 or the 16 that hope? Or are you more like the 1 that does? And by the way, statistically, here's another scary number. The people at 16% that have a concept of what they want in life, and you took a look at the person that's the 1% club, that has it written, has a plan, and they review it, do you realize the 1% club out-earns the 16% club by 9 times? That's a staggering number. Their earnings, their lifetime earnings, are 9 times greater than the 16% club. So I don't think anyone's going to discount the importance of really having a strong vision. Now, you've heard 2 phenomenal speakers before, right? Unbelievable people come up with great content. But when we look at this thing, this crazy piece of vision, vision really is your why and your what. And I have found that most of the successful people I have, they have absolutely insane clarity on 2 or 3 driving forces. Now, most of us in this room would turn around and say, hey, we need to have the capacity to have a plan. What's the activities? We know cookbooking, right? What's our sequential steps? What's the process? What are our behaviors? Who has to do what, when, how, and when? That's easy. That's tracking it. But not all super successful people have plans that they track. Some have a belly button. So when we took a look at this clarity that they had to have, it's intense. And they live by a simple rule that you may want to write down in your notes. It's up to you. Their belief is this: I am willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that objective. On your notes, it's called commitment. I am willing to do whatever it takes. Legally, morally, and ethically, of course. Right? Just because I'm in New York, don't think I forget those 3 things. So, right, do everything and anything you can to make sure that you're going to get to the end result. And people with great vision, they have the capacity to be better decision makers. And I call it Wimp Junction. Wimp Junction is, you probably have 100 to 200 of these every day. Wimp Junction is when you have the capacity and you have a choice that where you are right now, I can either choose to stay on the path that I'm supposed to. It may not be easy, but I'm going to stay the path that I'm supposed to. That's my plan. Or I can choose to wimp out and go a little safer. I can go to the opposite side and protect and not do what I'm supposed to do. And that decision right there is called Wimp Junction. That decision is actually what separates many of us from being good from great. And what helps us with that decision is how strong you believe in your vision. So decision making is definitely impacted by your vision. Now, when we take a look at this vision, a fixed mindset individual has the capacity to judge how they're doing against other individuals. That's when we, in our world, we call it at-leasters. I'm not doing that bad, but at least I'm not as bad as them. When Mike got up, remember what he said? He was the king of the middle of the pack. So yeah, I could run a little faster, but I still got my medal. Hey, I could make a little more money, but I'm doing better than my friends. So when we take a look at your vision, do you have something that's absolutely driving you? Remember the rules. Inconsistent behavior means lack of absolute vision. Inconsistency of behavior is because you don't buy into your vision. You got to remember the rules. There's always a plan in play. And if you don't, it's one of my favorite rules. I have all my clients write it down. It's in all their offices. There's always a plan in play. There's always a plan in play. Whoever has the stronger plan will always win. Period. If you do not have a plan, by default, you will naturally become part of someone else's. There is always a plan in play. You have to constantly ask yourself, whose plan am I working? Am I working my plan, or am I working my employee's plan? Am I working my plan, or am I working my staff's plan? Am I working my plan, or am I actually working the prospects plan? So when we take a look at our capacity to have this passion to get there, a person who has a fixed mindset, they may have the capacity to have guts, right? Their back's against the wall. They know they need to do something. They're in that fixed area. They have to get to activity. They know they're supposed to beforehand, but they chose not to. Then boom, they have guts. So in your mind, if your notes, if you want to, guts equals a fixed mindset, and only guts. A growth mindset individual, sure they got guts, but their belief system is called discipline. So you got to remember another rule. Do a little bit all the time, not a lot some of the time. Don't make success overly complicated. It's the whole premise of the cookbook. You've got to break it down to daily behaviors. Do a little bit all the time, not a lot some of the time. So my question to you is, how are you with vision? How are you with having that passion inside your head, heart, and gut that drives you to consistently do the things you're supposed to do, regardless if you feel like you want to do it? How's your vision? So take a second, take stock, and actually ask yourself, do you keep climbing? Do you keep pushing? Or for your vision, it's just enough to get to where you want to be, and once you hit a certain level of plateau, your passion stops. So how are you with vision?